It's time to play the show. The bell has rung, and that big show might be over. But it's time for us to bring wrestling information you can enjoy with the match predictions, analysis, the ups and downs of professional wrestling, all reaction, some beverage drinking to bring you Logic on Tap with your good brothers. It's time for you to look into the eyes of Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder on Beer, Blues, and BS.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special wrestling review from us, the guys at Beer, Blues, and BS. You know, that podcast that sometimes talks about wrestling. I'm your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good, you know. I just made it through Full Gear. I made it through the entirety of the pay-per-view because, of course, it's an AEW show, so therefore we can use those three letters, the P, the P, and the V. Why? Well, because we know that a WWE show is a PLE. So, anyway, let's see. I'm okay. Obviously, we need something to drink. So there is that. I do have to also say I have somewhat of breaking news.
Oh.
Unwrestling related.
I kind of figured that, but
so we brought him in with the wrestling. We're giving him the news.
We're giving him the news. Oh my gosh, guys, it's the news. I was expecting wrestling. Go ahead, hit us, Kidder. What is the news?
And if I, had something lined up, I could hit the graphic and then it would do the thing. But live podcasting. So starting Monday. I, the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder, on 96.5 The Walleye, will move my little time slot from noon to 3, moving it up the time clock a little bit, and will now be back in my Bismarck Bandan home of 3 to 7 p.m. Central Time. So that's right, I'll be there. Ride Home with Kidder is back, baby!
I never really got to experience the ride home with Kidder. It was always the ride home with the commercials that are playing during Kidder.
Well, that's what happens when you're so popular. You know, everybody wants a piece of the action. I don't know why they don't buy in this show. Let's be honest, I'm not sure. So, hey, let's transition to the segue. If you want to support this show, we would love for you to join us. Number one, subscribe. Like the video here, that would be a great help and benefit to us. The liking, that's free. The subscription, that's free. And, of course, if you would really like to help us, you can donate to the show. Streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. It's actually right on the bottom of the screen if you are watching this on YouTube right now. If you're listening to this in the replay, you can, of course, click the show notes, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. And with that, $1 a month helps to try and avert the thirst, the extreme thirst of a couple of podcast hosts. Speaking of that, you can also buy us a beer, buy us around. Just $1, $5, $10, maybe $500. That would be cool, too. We'd appreciate that. But you know what? How about your logo here at the bottom of the screen or maybe up top? This show is sponsored by Your Business Here. We would love to hear from you. That made me thirsty already. You got anything else to add to that, Howard, before we, of course, get to everybody's favorite segment on Beer, Blues, and BS, and that, of course, is What's on Tap?
I mean, we might as well just get right to what's on tap. That's really why people are here. So, Kidder, what you
Yeah.
having tonight?
Well, you know what? It's a good night and twofold. Number one, Full Gear. Good show tonight. I'll discuss that momentarily. And your Colorado Avalanche doing fantastic tonight. The first two periods, not so good, but the third one, boom, blew the roof off of the Dallas Stars in Dallas, Texas tonight. Avalanche picking up the win 6-3, doubling up the old Dallas Stars. So with that, I would normally have a beer, as of course we are Beer Blues NBS, but tonight I'm feeling that I need to pick out perhaps some of the good stuff. You know, the old Templeton Rye 6-year. There it is. That's the good stuff. And this being from Templeton, Iowa, the home of Templeton whiskey and Templeton Rye. This is the good stuff. It's a 6-year release from American Oak Barrels and bottled at 91.5 proof to deliver the exceptional rye whiskey with hints of honey and floral with the deep rye spice and oak. Yeah. It's good. That's why it's, the good stuff. I got a couple other ones in there that could have popped open, but this one's open, and I feel like rolling through it because I do have like another bottle or two of it, so I might as well enjoy a little bit of this tonight, wouldn't you say there, Howard Blues?
I mean, that's a good call. That's a very good call, and I'm glad you chose something that you're going to enjoy. Because you're going to end up doing most of the talking, and
this will soothe the vocal cords. Vocal lubrication. Back in the Triple B fridge. There we go. So, Jaco, what do you got? What do you have over there?
Well, Kidder, I'm parent in charge this particular weekend.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's already going to suck because, it's an AEW pay-per-view. So it's like, yeah, we're starting late and I'm going to be getting up early. But Kidder, I was in a bit of an issue because the last few of these wrestling reviews, I've been doing punishment shots for all my wrong predictions.
Yes.
For those who maybe aren't familiar with our show and what we do, because I have kids, I hardly have time these days to keep up with the wrestling world. So I don't get to really watch. So Kidder's going to get to do most of the talking. He watched the show. But for years now, we have been doing predictions, and it's all for the, for bragging rights. The old defunct WWE pay-per-view. We just pass it back and forth. Kidder's held it like the last, 3 shows. So, I mean, we'll see how we do. But I've been doing punishment shots when I get it wrong. But you know what, Kidder? Last time I finished the schnapps that I had, I'm out. So I went digging in the old liquor cabinet. Like, what could I have that I could use? And Kidder, I'm really not going to want to get stuff wrong because I did find schnapps.
Uh-oh.
It is all peppermint schnapps. So
well, at least the people aren't going to know that you were hitting the liquor closet. It's going to be one of those things of just smelling extra minty fresh.
It's one of those people usually use this as a mixer and not to do straight shots. So I hope I do well tonight.
Who are those people? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'll be drinking as soon as I get one wrong. And hey, I'm using, Kidder, tonight I pulled out my St. Louis shot glass from when I was down in St. Louis and attending a very good friend's wedding down there. So, yeah. So that's what I'll be having.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Welcome, viewers, to the stream. Please hit the like button. We need your help. Okay.
Yeah.
So, great. We have what's on tap. We have bragging rights. We explained the rules The big question is, are you ready?
As ready as I'm ever going to be while sitting next to a bottle of peppermint schnapps. Let's do this. And oh, hey, one more fun note, Kidder.
Yes.
My painting desk is back in painting mode, and I'm assembling models tonight. And so that means not only will I be drinking peppermint schnapps for every wrong one, I'm also playing with glue. So
This is going to be great.
will Howard glue himself to something? Probably. It's more than likely.
Perfect. Also, while you're watching this, even if it's not live, we absolutely would love for you to throw your comments and your predictions, not only in the matches, but, what you're thinking, what's happening. We want to hear from you, so please drop your info down there in the comments and be part of the show, because you are the show as well, not the big show, because there's no more BS. All right, so we have 12 questions on the show tonight, and first one, we'll just go right away. Tony Khan announced last week that there was a major signing in AEW, and it would be announced tonight at AEW Full Gear. Now, the question, who is it? That is the first bonus question, and I threw out what may have been, I thought it was kind of a decent choice, Ronda Rousey. Howard Blues, who say you?
I thought about that. I didn't know this was coming. I'm gonna guess that it's somebody who was recently released from WWE, and I've been going back and forth whether I think it's going to be Dolph or Matt Riddle. I think it's going to be Dolph Ziggler, and I forget what his actual name is, so we'll just stick with Dolph. But
okay. Well, I went with Ronda Rousey because apparently she showed up at Ring of Honor taping, and I figured they would make that big announcement. And then, of course, I didn't jog my memory a lot because you remember Will Ospreay doing the thing, right? Coming in, being part of it. Well, that's who it was. So we both get that question wrong.
Thanks, Kidder.
Hey, I wanted to get it out of the way right away for you. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen, I've yet to start the glue, and
hey, this is the perfect opportunity because maybe if you get a little bit of a buzz going, the glue won't affect you.
That makes perfect sense that it's Ospreay.
Yeah.
I'm now kicking myself really hard. And it's not just because I'm about to do this. But anyway, cheers, Kidder.
Cheers to you, Howie Blues.
Oh, that is not enjoyable.
That's hilarious that it's even worse than it was before.
Yeah. Oh. Woo. That is some really strong peppermint. Oh, this is going to be a long night.
Yeah.
Okay. No more wrong ones after this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever you say. Gotta be perfect from here on out.
Yeah. Whatever you say, man. All right. So, unlike WWE, and maybe they have been listening to us because they have had a couple of matches on their pre-shows, as in one in recent memory, AEW throws a bunch of matches into their pre-show, i.e. 0 hour. And so, tonight's first match, starting off the show, Eddie Kingston, your Ring of Honor World Champion, as well as, what's the other one? New Japan I can't remember at the moment. Anyway, he's got the 2 belts. Okay, this is for the Ring of Honor World Championship. It's Eddie Kingston versus Jay Lethal, and of course he also has Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt at ringside. I went with Eddie the Man himself.
I too am going to go with Eddie Kingston.
Okay. This match was 10 minutes, 55 seconds. I also want to back up just a smidge because you know how I like to grade graphics. I like to grade intros to the show, etc., etc. Kind of disappointed because there was really no intro, no big graphic welcoming you to the 0 hour. Just kind of here we are, and then entrances. So, I mean, good to get down to business, not screw around. But at the same time, I like a little bit of flair. Woo. Okay. So, here we go. I mean, there was a little bit of a overall rundown of the show, but still, like, not to what I'm used to and accustomed to. Anyway, so here we go. We're going straight out to the ring. Lethal starts up right away. The bell, they go right to the center. They're locking up. Kingston backs Lethal in the corner, starts hitting him with chops, big chops, the machine gun chops, if you were. Then Lethal goes for the Mad King, face first into the steel ring post. Jeff Jarrett sneaks a cheap shot in, and then, well, he and Lethal and Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, all do the Jeff Jarrett strut. The fans boo, of course. Lethal then continues to dominate the action after getting Eddie Kingston back into the ring. Dutt sneaks a cheap shot in at ringside. Jay hits some cheap shots and then really hits Kingston, so it pisses him off. Kingston starts fighting back with a big T-bone suplex, sends Lethal flying overhead. Kingston starts blasting Lethal in the corner, hits the rapid-fire machine gun spot again. Lethal fights back with some kicks and then a flying elbow to smash off the top rope for a close near fall. Jay goes for the lethal injection, but Kingston sees it coming, counters, but he decks Dutt as he tries to get involved, and then he and Lethal hit lariats at the same time on each other. And, of course, Eddie no-sells it and screams at him. Karen Jarrett hops up onto the ring and starts distracting the ref as Kingston and Lethal each crawl for Jeff Jarrett's guitar. Then, suddenly, coming down to the ring, it's Ortiz. He grabs the guitar away from the ring so that nobody else could get it. He's looking at everybody, looking back and forth, because, you know, he and Eddie Kingston are not on good terms before this. So he's looking at people, turns over to Sanjay Dutt and blasts it over his head. Back at the ring, Lethal goes for the lethal injection. Kingston counters with a half and half, hits his finisher. 1, 2, and 3. The winner and still Ring of Honor World Champion is Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like a bad opener. Sounds decent. Interesting that there's already this much kind of like interference and such in the match, but you kind of expect that. That's kind of what the whole Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett kind of mentality has been. So that's not surprising, but it's a little, I like to say, it's a little early for us to be calling this the DraftKings screwy finish of the night. So,
yeah, that one's kind of expected.
Yeah, exactly. So
all right, there it is, number 1, away. Anybody watching has comments, listening, comments. We want your comments. Drop us your comments below. Absolutely would love to have you part of the show. And then you live in the video recording for infamy. Or subscribe for, as little as $1 a month and help some thirsty podcast hosts continue. Okay, number 2 on the 0 hour, Claudio Castagnoli versus Buddy Matthews. Singles match, 10 minutes, 30 seconds in length. I go for the Swedish cyborg himself, Claudio Castagnoli.
That's a tough one. But I'm also going to choose Claudio because I know the other members of House of Black have a match later, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with them there, so I don't expect them to win all of the matches. So going with Claudio here, and that Buddy Matthews is going to be the loser for House of Black tonight.
Okay.
That's my logic, which is now affected by peppermint schnapps, so anything goes.
Keep that on standby because you never know when you're going to need it. Bad breath is always around the corner.
The sad thing is because you saw the show and I didn't see the show, with every pick if I'm dooming myself.
I mean, I may or may not, but at the same time, I don't know how you're going to go with it. So
I'm going to have to start giving some false finishes and try and read your face to go, am I making the right decision here?
Just going to take a sip here. Okay. So, Claudio Castagnoli, his theme is slightly different from when he first arrived in AEW. It's a little bit more big band verbose, if you will, in the classical sense. So that's kind of interesting. And, of course, Buddy Matthews has his own ring music as well. Because they have so many different themes. Like there's the House of Black music. There's the Kings of the Black Throne theme. There's the Brody King theme. There's the Malachi Black theme. There's the Julia Hart theme. And then I think there might even be a 6th one. So it's almost like you should be drinking every time they change their theme.
No.
Oh, okay. And it's not even a change in their theme. It's just, you guys are coming out as this group of us tonight. All right. Anyway, the bell rings. Here we go. And everybody right away starts looking at each other, which obviously there's 2 people in the ring who are fighting and the ref. They're all looking at each other. Claudio goes right after Buddy Matthews. Matthews jumps out. Classic. Heads to the floor. Regroups. Castagnoli goes out after him. Matthews takes over and hits him a couple times and, tries to take control. Okay? So, gets it back into the ring. Matthews goes off the top ropes. Hits a Meteora for a near fall. After a huge discus lariat, Castagnoli takes over and goes for the big swing, but Matthews counters it. Matthews goes for another Meteora. Claudio counters, grabs him, hits the swing. 13 nice revolutions of the swing. A little hard to count because the camera kept changing, so I had to figure out what geography was where to make sure we were getting full revolutions, because I know you are a stickler for that sort of stat.
Well, especially because in so many of his matches, the audience is just counting at whatever pace they think, and it's not even necessarily keeping up with actual full rotations a lot of the time. So
you're welcome. All right. Moments later, Castagnoli hits a huge power bomb and then gets this scorpion death lock. Matthews ends up tapping out. Castagnoli picks up the win. And as his music is playing, they both stand up. They're staring each other down, thinking about some shenanigans. Perhaps Claudio is thinking about the handshake. And as they're staring each other down, he starts putting his hand out a little bit. Matthews brushes past him, gives him the shoulder, and everybody boos the crap out of him. And he walks off. Claudio gives it the old shoulder shrug, and that's that.
I mean, I again, not having seen the match, it sounds like it was a decent match between these two, which is something I would expect from these two. They're both good workers. I like them both, so sounds like it was a decent match.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst, that's for sure. Okay, next and the final for 0 hour. MJF, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship on the line here. Of course, Adam Cole, the other in the tag team for the Ring of Honor World Championship, had some surgery on his foot and his ankle. So he can't be cleared to wrestle because it's still going to be a while. Okay? They can't be there together, so MJF's still defending them, so then they don't have to relinquish them. Earlier, Samoa Joe came up to him and said, I'll be your partner, I'll do everything, I'll take care of you. If we win, when we do win, you owe me a title shot for the Triple B, the big Burberry belt. Beautiful Burberry belt. My bad. I'm used to the beer, blues, and BS. It's almost a drink because we said the show name. No, we shouldn't do that. So, again, MJF joining forces with Samoa Joe because of that injury. Also, noting that on the other side, because it's the Gunns, Austin and Colten Gunn, they are associated with Bullet Club Gold. And Juice Robinson is not around because last night at Collision, he got blasted really, really, really good and won't be around. So my pick is MJF and Samoa Joe.
You know, I was actually going to go with the Gunns, thinking that, there'd be some shenanigans to set up a title match between Joe and MJF. But since the stipulation is if they win, he gets the title shot, I'm going to go with MJF and Samoa Joe because I think that's the direction they're heading. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Any other thoughts about how you feel where Samoa Joe is and what he's doing? Did I mention also that he had the ROH Television Championship, and after he won it, he just dropped it and said that he's relinquishing it?
I actually watched that clip, Kidder, and that was why I was thinking, especially it surprised me when I saw that they were teaming together. And then I was like, oh, well, this is going to set up said feud. But then since there's the stipulation, it kind of renders that theory mute. So, not mute, moot. Sorry. I've been drinking.
Don't make me mute you. All right. So, Samoa Joe comes out first. Everybody chanting Joe, of course. And then MJF comes on out to the ring. They are at the Kia Forum, which, if I look at my notes here, okay, doesn't actually say the attendance for tonight's show. Thank you, the encyclopedia for the internet. Can't believe it. Okay, so it's at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California. MJF coming down to the ring. He has the purple and yellow robe, shirt, and, of course, trunks, because It's a lot like the LA Lakers. Everybody pretty much goes nuts, and the shirt, by the way, says "He's our scumbag," which I think you could appreciate. Then, the Guns come out, and of course, I really love the first part of their intro, or their entrance. Guns are standing back to back. The lights come down pretty much straight on them with everything else around them dimmed. And then they do the water spew Triple H, but it's like they're shooting, so it looks like there's blast from the muzzle, if you will. So that's cool. All right. Bell sounds, and we're off. This match 9 minutes 25 seconds long. Friedman goes nuts right away, and the crowd starts going crazy. MJF starts getting a little cocky, of course, and does the Rick Rude hip dance. Then the Guns double team him from behind. Samoa Joe ends up helping out MJF by covering up one of the turnbuckles with his body, because they do the old hip toss into the corner that's supposed to hurt, but Joe blocked you actually hitting the hard part of the turnbuckle, the exposed turnbuckle. And, of course, MJF's like, whoa, all right. So MJF comes over to Joe, tells him that he doesn't need his help. Joe starts laughing and slaps him to tag himself in. The fans start chanting. He and MJF are, of course, face-to-face. Then the Guns come running at him, both turn and take the Guns out. Joe hits a big dive to, again, take them both out onto the floor. Joe starts beating him down and then comes back into the ring and high-five tags MJF to come back into the ring. Guns immediately start taking the momentum, though. MJF struggles to try and make a tag. The Guns keep cutting him off and keep hitting him, kicking him, keeping him away from the corner, of course, because, well, why not? They're using the old frequent tag technique. MJF gets a little bit of an opening. Joe provides an assist as he goes for the muscle buster. MJF takes back over and yells, "Who wants to see a muscle buster?" Then he hoists Gunn up for one, but unfortunately is drop-kicked by the other, Colten. So he sets up the kangaroo kick. Everybody starts going nuts as they start cheering and chanting, "Kangaroo kick! Kangaroo kick!" Joe tags himself back in because he's close enough to the corner. Everybody starts booing. He and MJF get into each other's faces, but suddenly the Guns are coming at him, and they go looking at him, and MJF yells, "Stereo muscle busters!" So they hoist both of them up. Both Guns escape, send MJF and Joe face first into each other. Then the Guns hit a double team high spot on Joe, go for the cover. MJF breaks it up just in time. Guns look to finish things off, but then all of a sudden, it's all about the boom! And out comes Adam Cole, baby! On crutches. The distraction allows Joe to grab the rear naked choke and tap out victory for, of course, he and MJF. MJF is surprised, runs over, hugs Cole. Everybody goes nuts after the match. Joe and MJF shake hands, and, of course, if MJF wins the AEW Championship later in the show, Joe is the next contender. Okay? Afterward, MJF and Adam Cole have, of course, a nice moment. Joe starts walking off. Suddenly, out of nowhere, MJF gets blasted by the Guns. Cole can't do anything because of his boot on his leg and ankle. I should say foot and ankle, I suppose. So he's standing there screaming. The Guns are holding MJF down. They grab a steel chair and start bashing his leg with the chair. Medical team runs down to check on MJF. They bring out the stretcher. They end up picking up MJF with the stretcher, load him up, and take him out to the ambulance. All the way out of the building and to the hospital. MJF, I mean, they don't show the latter part, but of course that's what they say. Before they close the doors on the ambulance, MJF is yelling at Adam Cole, "Don't let them take my title," because Jay White had it written into the contract for tonight that if MJF is unable to have the match tonight or gets out of having it or disappears, whatever the case is, he automatically forfeits the Triple B, and it goes to Jay White. So Adam Cole says, "Absolutely, I got you," and the ambulance takes off.
Nice bit of storytelling here at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm approving. They're setting up a little bit extra into this main event, making you wonder, making you curious. Of course, he's more than likely going to show up because it's the main event. You're not going to not have the main event, but at least they have, some intrigue. You're wondering how they're going to pull this off, what they're going to do. It's a nice buy-in. It's a really nice buy-in.
Well, it is 0 hour, not buy-in.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. It's at least something to set up people to want to see what happens. It's not, it's not WWE where, hey, the matches on the pre-show don't matter. It's this actually matters. It matters in what happens to the end. So, no, good. But that brings us to the main show. Finally. Yeah.
We are there. And much like what I was saying about no real intro, no... yeah. Kind of let down. But, that's kind of how it goes. Cold open video. So, I guess there were some fireworks. I missed that. You switch over feeds and things aren't in sync and everything, and it's just one problem after another,
Yeah.
So, we are officially into the Full Gear pay-per-view. We're in full gear now. First match is a 6-man tag team match lasting 15 minutes, 10 seconds, and it is the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne versus Sting, Darby Allin, and the rated R superstar Adam Copeland with Ric Flair. Yes, you heard me correctly.
Yeah. I'm just gonna hop in, Kidder. I gotta believe that it's gonna be Adam Copeland as Sting and Darby Allin winning this to get things rolling.
Yes.
I don't think Christian's team is going to win this.
Sure. I also pick Sting, Darby, and Adam as a team with Ric Flair because in my thoughts of that decision, number one, Christian Cage doesn't lose the TNT Championship. It doesn't really bury the three of them, and it's just an opening for a good match. So there's that.
Right. Well, and people would be upset if Edge loses kind of in his first pay-per-view.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, first up, Special Choir comes out to do Christian Cage's theme song. as all three of them come on out. The interesting thing is that they also updated Christian Cage's Titantron so that during the 10 count countdown on the back, it has different uplifting words with each number of how great he is. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, the little like choir singing along with his music, and they hopped into the ring, and then woo! Ric Flair's Nature Boy music hits. He comes down. Adam Copeland comes on out with face paint, and yeah, he's got the half face paint going, which looked pretty badass. Then you get Sting and Darby Allin with their music, and yeah, here we go. Interesting thing to note is, again, they're at Kia Forum in Los Angeles, and next week, or next week, we get to do this again because it's Survivor Series War Games. And where are they coming from? Live from the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's Groundhog Day, just it came early.
We should all be so lucky.
Yeah. It's Groundhog Day again. Man, I love that movie. All right, so we both locked in our picks. Here we go. Match gets going. Darby Allin takes on Nick Wayne right away in the early goings. Tags in Sting, picks up where he left off. Nick Wayne gets over to the corner and the floor, and then Sting follows him down, keeps blasting him. Sting runs Wayne into the barricade, brings him back into the ring, and then he gets over to the corner, tags in Christian. Sting points at Copeland. The crowd goes nuts. Sting tags in Copeland, who has the huge stare down with Cage. And, of course, fans are chanting, "Holy!" It's just holy. I don't know why. Before they even, lock up. Well, Christian turns around, tags out quickly, hops down, and the crowd boos. And Luchasaurus is in. They start going back and forth. Copeland delivers a few shots, runs the ropes. Luchasaurus takes him to the corner and starts blasting him. Copeland kicks Luchasaurus in the face, drops him with a side Russian leg sweep. Copeland drops Luchasaurus with a swinging neck breaker and then tags in Darby Allin. Luchasaurus throws Allin into the corner, but Allin ends up kicking him in the face. Luchasaurus then hits a huge uppercut. Christian Cage delivers a neck breaker over the top rope, and then Luchasaurus choke slams Darby onto the Allin onto the apron. Good Lord. Throws him back into the ring. Luchasaurus stomps on Darby's head and throws him into the corner. Then Darby Allin continues to take the punishment, like always. Luchasaurus starts choking him with his boot. Cage, that is Christian Cage, tags in. Christian stomps Darby in the corner, stands on his throat again. Then Christian stomps on Allin again, takes him down. So Christian starts raking Allin's face and then continues stomping him in the corner. Now Nick Wayne tags in and hits more kicks to Darby Allin. Wayne delivers a backbreaker and then starts mocking Ric Flair with the strut. Luchasaurus tags in, kicks Darby in the midsection, and then hits a bunch of chops against the ropes, and then tags Nick Wayne back in. This is just a round and round, beat him up, drag out Allin. Luchasaurus slams Allin down, and Nick Wayne connects with a senton. Wayne goes for the cover, but Darby kicks out to keep the match going. Luchasaurus takes over for a bit, and then Christian and he's just staring from the ropes, so it pisses off Adam Copeland a little bit, and Sting. They both work to get in there before Allin and Nick Wayne return and hit some huge spots. Luchasaurus comes back in now, takes over, and beats down Adam. Ric Flair is sitting there ringside. Well, I mean, standing ringside, but Christian walks over, gets into his face. Christian starts beating down Ric Flair, leaves him laying on the floor, and, of course, everybody is mad because of that. Sting starts fighting back in the ring, hits a stinger splash with Luchasaurus in the corner. Adam follows up with a huge spear. The crowd goes wild. Sting follows up with the Scorpion Death Drop. Darby hits a coffin drop after that. Adam scores a 1, 2, and 3. A huge opener and a big W for those three. Also, would like to mention that mid-match, Darby Allin got, I don't even really want to call it a choke slam, but it was essentially a choke slam over the rope and onto the apron of the ring, and then bounced off onto the floor, and it looked like he pretty much broke his neck, but apparently he's fine. So there's that. He's nuts. After the match, Ric Flair joins them for some celebration. Sting hugs his sons at ringside, and everybody goes home happy.
Yeah, a great opener to this pay-per-view. Now that we're actually at the opener. So it'll be interesting to see what they do next in this story between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage and where that goes. So I'm going to be curious to see what they do with it now that they've had kind of the tag team match. Will we get a singles match out of it? We'll see.
And that's one thing that Christian is avoiding, because he actually ran away for a while. So, anyway. Guess what? There's a DraftKings commercial.
Oh.
Yeah. DraftKings was all over the place. Each of the four corners on the ring mat, on the sides, on the wall there of the ring barricades, up in the center of the Titantron. Their logo is all over the place. Plus, as that reminds me as well, AEW invested some money in some new technology. They now have the LED boards for the front of the ring, as well as the section of the ring barricades that's camera facing behind the ring.
That doesn't surprise me that they finally have made that jump. I kind of figured that was coming eventually.
Yeah.
So
it looks so much better now. It just doesn't look cheap. All right. We go backstage, and basically Adam Cole's pleading that he needs to, take over for MJF. And it's announced that Adam Cole is now the competitor against Jay White in the main event.
interesting. Gonna wonder how this is gonna go.
Yep. All right. So now up on the ramp, Jay White comes out with Tony Schiavone, and that's when they're announcing that MJF won't be able to compete, can't defend it, and Jay White's going to be named champion. And then, like I said, Adam Cole pleads his case that he will defend, and that is what it is, made official. Next, it is time for the AEW International Championship to be defended. It is match number 5, 12 minutes, 5 seconds in length. I chose the International Champion, Orange Cassidy.
Oh, did he get it back? Last I heard, he had lost it.
Yes, he lost to Jon Moxley at All In. And then Moxley lost to who was it? Was it Penta El. No, well, I don't remember if it was Penta. I can't remember.
But Moxley lost to some.
Back.
Okay. Well, Kidder, I was going to go with Moxley because I thought he was the champion, and you know what? I'm going to stick to that. Because right now we're still tied, and damn it, there's no fun in ties, Kidder. There's no fun in ties. Somebody's got to go out on a limb here. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll take Moxley because that's who I was going to go with because I thought he was the champion.
Okay.
So.
They make the note that Orange has not beat Moxley yet.
Well, that's never a good sign for me.
So, Orange Cassidy accompanied by Hook and Moxley accompanied by Wheeler Yuta. Right away, here we go. Good stuff. Gotta love it. Love it. Everybody's going nuts. Bell sounds. We're off. Moxley jumps in, starts hitting the heavy offense, as you know Mox always does. Locks him in a Texas cloverleaf. Cassidy struggles to escape. They keep going back and forth, and of course there's a little dirtiness coming on in because Moxley starts biting Cassidy in the corner. And then Cassidy gets a counter and starts biting him back. Cassidy ends up busting Moxley open. Wait a minute, what? Moxley bleeding in a match? He's bleeding all over the place, of course, for the rest of the match. Now Moxley takes over, and looks like Cassidy is pretty much done for it. Moxley does the wimpy kick thing to Cassidy, but, of course, well, Orange Cassidy gets pissed off, right? Don't do his thing. Turns out OC starts getting up, raises the hand, brings it back down into his pockets. Moxley shrugs his shoulders, starts beating him up again, but Orange Cassidy starts hitting Orange Punch, another Orange Punch, another Orange Punch, and another Orange Punch. And then Moxley finally caves in. 1, 2, and 3. Orange Cassidy picking up the W to retain the AEW International Championship. After the match, Blackpool Combat Club comes to the ring to aid Moxley, who's bleeding all over the place there. Well, Cassidy's helped up by Hook, and everybody goes nuts because, you know, it's Orange Cassidy, man.
This Kidder did not sound like a great match. I understand, you know, it's only 12 minutes and such, but just compared to some of the action and such that we've had, this, I don't know, did not sound like the most exciting. And I'm not just saying that because I'm bitter and having to take a shot of peppermint schnapps, which, hey, cheers.
Hey, in my defense, I also took a drink, so.
Yeah, but yours was good stuff. Oh. Okay.
You want a bottle of...
I don't think... I don't think I should do shots of Templeton Rye. That...
No, that's a smooth drinker right there.
Yeah, that is not for this. You know, this is punishment shots. This is, you know, trying to motivate myself to do better. I don't know, that match, just listening to you describe it, I think it's partially because, you know, like, I like the comedy bit of Orange Cassidy. And when he gets in with somebody who's an actual competitor, you don't get as much of the comedy bit. And I think that's why, like, I don't enjoy his matches quite as much when he's in that mode. Yeah. If that makes sense. Not that I feel like he should be relegated to solely being a comedy wrestler, you know, because I think I don't like it when people get stuck in that. and I think he's talented enough. It's just you're going up against a hard-hitting brawler. It's too different, and they're not styles that mesh well together, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Unless it's a comedy hardcore match, but that's not Moxley. Moxley is serious. So there, I gave a bit more commentary and thought to it.
All right.
You know, I'm trying.
I love it. All right. Next is an intro video and announcement of sorts. The AEW Continental Classic Tournament starts Wednesday. The culmination is on I forget what the name of the pay-per-view is. Let me take a look here because it's
Double or
coming
Nothing
up next month. World's End. How could I forget that? How could I have forgotten that? Come on.
That's not a great pay-per-view name.
It's on the last weekend of the year.
I get that. I'm just saying it's not a great
Okay.
name.
Gotcha.
You know,
Fair enough.
listen, I mean, it's not as bad as say like Damage Control, but it's definitely not anything I'd write home about.
Now you know why the main show for LEW Wrestling was lack of a better name. It's a round robin tournament. It's 6 weeks long. It starts Wednesday. The current announced competitors include Bryan Danielson, who had his eye messed up and had to have some treatment for that. Andrade El Idolo, Mr. Flair, and the next announced person is Mark Briscoe as the entrant to the tournament field. So there you go. Okay. Next up, it is time for the AEW Women's Championship. Your champion, Hikaru Shida, versus timeless Toni Storm. It is 10 minutes, 25 seconds long. And I picked Toni Storm.
Well, I am going to go with Shida on this one. Yeah.
All right.
Or should I kid her? Is that the right choice?
Would you like to recant?
Nah, I'll stick to my guns.
You don't have to. You can recant if you want to. The choice is yours, and yours alone.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if I got like some sort of reaction out of you, and you know, I was just trying to read. I
see. I thought you just wanted a Legends of the Hidden Temple reference because this past week was the 30th anniversary since its premiere.
No. I was trying to game the system and see if I could get a reaction out of you and figure out if I was making the right or wrong choice. You know, I was hoping like if I well, maybe I see like a gleeful smile, like he's gonna drink, and but I mean, you kept a pretty good poker face there, kidder.
Well, the choice is yours and yours alone. Okay, it's the important thing to remember. All right,
I'm just gonna hope I'm right.
Also like to mention that Toni Storm's butler, Luther, is out there with her. And people in LA apparently really enjoyed her entrance. And we're off. Mariah May. I really don't have any clue as to who she actually is, but she's shown watching the monitor backstage because she was recently signed to AEW. Right away, Shida takes it to Toni Storm. Excalibur starts pointing out the welts on Toni Storm's chest, courtesy of Emi Sakura from last night's Rampage. Storm starts getting pissed in the corner moments later, and then they go back at it again. Storm starts settling in the offense and leads the match. Then, Luther, the butler, places a shoe on the ring. Storm gets the shoes, goes to use it. The ref stops her. As she dumps that one, Toni Storm ends up pulling out a shoe from behind her, hits Shida with the tip of the heel, and tosses that sumbitch into the 80th row. That sucker went flying just like a baseball that just got hit as a grand slam. It just poof, and it was gone.
Oh. I was hoping you would go for the more classic wrestling analogy of it flew like a baby doll kicked by Schnitzky.
I leave that one for you, my friend, because I know it's one of your favorite wrestling moments.
It's not, but, it's...
Well, Howard, remember, it's not my fault. All right, anyway. So she goes to try and steal the win, but Shida kicks out, starts hitting her back. Shida hits Toni Storm with her own Storm Zero finisher. How dare she? Shida continues to dominate and connects the Falcon Arrow. She goes for the cover, but Toni finds her way to kick out before the 3 count. Shida starts to go for the Meteora, but Storm kicks out of that, wiggles out of it before she can get hit by it. Storm fights back, takes off Shida's boot, goes to use it as a weapon. Shida avoids it, takes out Luther at ringside. In the ring, Storm hides another weapon in her tights and pretends to be, down and out. Shida comes back in. Storm springs back to life. She deadlifts Shida and then hits a German suplex. 1 for a huge spot. She then adjusts the weapon in the back of her tights, which appears to be a cookie sheet, courtesy of the Cookie Gnomes from NDWF, charges at Shida and connects with her hip attack finisher in the corner, grabs her, rolls her up, 1, 2, and 3. Yes, the winner and the new AEW Women's World Champion is timeless Toni Storm. After she wins and her music starts playing, the screen goes back to black and white as Toni Storm has an over-the-top, extra, over-dramatic celebration. And then Mariah May comes out with flowers and gives her the flower bouquet at the end. And there you go, 10 minutes, 25 seconds.
Well, Kidder, where to start with this match? This is clearly a match that should have taken place in a Foot Locker for the amount of shoes used in it.
Or Kohl's.
Well, I was going with that because think about it. It would have been a great sponsorship deal. Yeah, a Foot Locker match. Yeah, just name your shoe center of choice. So probably a lot. I do have to ask, because of all of the weapons and foot gear, is this our DraftKings screwy finish of the night?
No.
Is it our DraftKings shoey finish of the night?
Absolutely, but I don't have a graphic for that.
I don't either, but on that bad pun, cheers. Oh, it doesn't get any better, Kidder. It starts off as a nice smooth shot, and then it flips a gear and goes, here's some really bitterness, and then you get peppermint, way too intense. And now it just feels like I've been sucking on a candy cane, and I have fresh breath.
And then you get the menthol.
Yeah. It's like a ride of a taste bud roller coaster every time I had to take one of these.
Right.
But I'm starting to get a nice warm feeling.
Yeah, good. Now the question is, are you saying that About halfway through the shot, it really hits full gear.
Yeah, that would be the correct pun. I should go all in on it, you know.
Well, it's good that you're not going all out.
That is true, you know. In the course of drinking, you know, peppermint schnapps, I'd really say, you know, it's a double or nothing kind of gamble, and I would much rather be on the nothing than I think the double I've done so far. Actually, I think I'm 4 shots in.
The way this is going, you might end up in World's End.
Yeah. How many matches do we got left?
1, 2, 3, 5. We have 5 left.
I would just like to remind the audience: don't drink in stairs. So,
if you really need to, go back into 4-wheel drive. You know, your feet, knees, and hands on the ground. All right. We're now backstage with the remarkable Renee Paquette, joined by Eddie Kingston. She's interviewing him about the match and fresh off the title defense. Eddie's talking about next on his agenda, and that is, of course, entering the AEW Continental Classic Tournament. He then says that he is putting, as I was thinking that it was, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Championship and the Ring of Honor World Championship on the line in every bout he competes in the tournament, which means that he is hoping to then have the first ever in AEW Triple Crown champion, because apparently this is going to be for the AEW Continental Championship? Continental Classic Champion? I don't know. Either way, it sounds very NDWF to me.
I like it. It adds some stakes to the matches he's involved in, and I can appreciate that, you know, because a lot of times we get these tournaments and it's like you can kind of tell like the prelims just don't matter whatsoever. So the fact that, hey, at least every time that he steps foot in the ring, he could be losing his title. That's something, you know, losing his titles.
Mm-hmm.
It could be interesting.
That's right.
So,
okay,
I'm excited. I like it. I like it.
I'm just not sold on if it is another championship on top of it.
Oh yeah, that part's gonna be garbage.
Yeah, because then we're talking about, the continental breakfast or the intercontinental breakfast. Yeah. Anyway, next up is match number 7 for the night. 20 minutes, 35 seconds in length. It is a 4-way tag team ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. In this features your champions, Absolute Ricky Starks and Big Bill, versus La Facción Inagotable Habla Español with Rouge and Dralistico and Jose the Assistant and Preston Vance. There's a lot of people to talk about here. FTR with Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, Dax the Axe, and the Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King. I pick the 7-star FTR to win this match.
I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. Earlier in the night, I may have said I was going to go with the Kings of the Black Throne, forgetting that FTR is in this match.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I like Aleister Black and Brody King, I'm a bigger fan of FTR. And so I, too, will be choosing FTR. Unless, unless that might earn me a peppermint schnapps shot, Kidder. Please think about it. I have kids, man.
The choice is yours, and yours alone.
Yeah,
And
that's
sorry,
right.
I sounded a little George Takei there. Oh my.
It's okay. We just clearly all got a glimpse of the black hole that is Kidder's soul as he refuses to help Howard out on this one. I'll stick with FTR though. Although I am getting a bit tipsy.
Remember how many premium live events I have to watch for the sake of you in this show? Okay.
Hey,
remember that.
Hey, listen, I fully get it. This is why I do this. It is kind of like my my penance. Yes. Kidder has to suffer through watching the show. I have to suffer through terrible predictions. And they only get worse because for the audience, if you're tuning in, I haven't seen the show. I haven't seen any spoilers. I'm calling these on the fly. So the more I drink, the worse my decision making gets. So it's a double-edged sword.
Howard's ready to go into 4x mode.
Yeah, I got one model left to assemble though, so I'm almost in the clear here of not gluing my fingers to anything. So,
all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, 20 minutes 35 seconds. We're on the air. Video package hits the air. Tells us about, of course, the next match with the 4-way ladder match. Everybody comes in. The entrances really aren't anything out of the ordinary. So, they start in, the bell rings, and we're off. Early on, Big Bill and Brody King start brawling because they're the two big guys in the match. They start walking toward each other, and then they are attacked by FTR and LFI. Harwood and Black are left in the ring to start brawling. Everybody else starts going to the floor. Then, Brody King props up a ladder between the ring apron and the barricade. Dax Harwood drops Malachi Black onto it. Bam! Huge, hard shot. Ricky Stocks gets sent into the barricade, and then Dax Harwood hits him in the face with a ladder. Roosh sets up the ladder in the ring, and then he and Wheeler start climbing that. They both climb back down, start exchanging shots. Roosh delivers a headbutt, runs the ropes. Wheeler dodges it, sends him to the apron. Roosh kicks Brody King down to the floor, then Wheeler spears Roosh into King and Bill on the outside. Dralistico takes Wheeler, King, Roosh, and Bill with a huge, giant, I don't know, what is that, like a 240 splash dive? And Ricky Stark starts going up to the top. Black gets up, cuts him off with a huge elbow strike, and then moonsaults onto Wheeler and Bill. Harwood and Starks go up to the top. Harwood suplexes Starks onto the group on the outside of the ring. Again, this is getting crazy here because normally it's like, oh, they're all out there. What's going to happen now? Well, it just kind of kept on happening, and it was just kind of silly. But the suplex, which that one was one, to the outside was really cool. Anyway, Big Bill and Brody King slide ladders into the ring, stare at each other again. They get into the ring, deliver hard shots to each other. Roosh and Harwood then get into the ring, hit them with ladders, and break them up. They start ramming ladders into each other. Dax Harwood gets the advantage. He puts the ladder on top of his shoulders, starts using it as a propeller, and starts blasting everybody. Dralistico drop kicks the ladder into Harwood's face, stops him, he falls down, and then starts delivering a few kicks and knee strikes to Wheeler. Dralistico climbs the ladder, but Wheeler comes back and knocks him down. Roosh delivers quite a few kicks to Wheeler, follows with a chop. Roosh runs the ropes, but Wheeler drops him with a power slam. Then Wheeler starts climbing the ladder, but Malachi Black cuts him off. Black delivers a few right hands, props the ladder against the ropes. Harwood slams Black into the ladder. Black comes back, slams the ladder into Harwood's face. Black wedges the ladder in the corner, knocks Wheeler into it. Black goes up top, but Harwood cuts him off. Harwood delivers a few shots there, and King comes up top, delivers some hard shots, sends Harwood down to the floor. Wheeler knocks King to the floor, but then Black takes advantage, delivers some more shots there. Wheeler comes back, hits a low blow, delivers the inverted pile driver to Black on top of the ladder. King comes back in with a shot to Wheeler, goes for the dive, but Big Bill hits him with a different ladder on the outside. I really don't know where all these ladders came from. Starks knocks Harwood and Dralistico down with shots and then does the same to Wheeler. Starks hits Dralistico and Roosh with spears, delivers a back elbow to Wheeler. Starks starts walking on the ropes, drops Wheeler with a backdrop driver. King has been busted open because Starks, just really, really smashed him. He's bleeding all over the makeup. It's quite the sight. Starks props a ladder in the corner. Black comes back, exchanges shots with Starks. Black delivers a back elbow, but Starks throws Black into that ladder. Yes, we're still going. King knocks Starks into the ladder and then drops Harwood onto that as well. Now, we see King deliver a cannonball to Harwood on top of the ladder and then sets up a different ladder, starts to climb it. He gets stopped. The action continues because there's more high spots coming at you. A ladder bridge is set up outside the ring from the ring apron to the outside barricade. Cash Wheeler climbs to the top rope, flies off with a splash onto Brody King on the ladder bridge, and everybody starts chanting holy again. Back in the ring, Harwood and Starks climb up opposing sides of the ladder set up underneath the titles. They begin duking it out on top. The crowd starts going nuts. Starks hits Harwood off, and then Wheeler runs up. Starks hits him as well. Big Bill starts grabbing him, pulls him down. One title comes off, he throws it to Big Bill. The other title gets pulled down, and yes, Ricky Starks and Big Bill retain the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
Kidder, I'm going to say I tried my best to keep track of all of that as you were saying, and this sounds a bit chaotic and such. I will say, I do want to see this match. I might have to try and track this one down because it sounds like it was awesome, even though the wrong team won. But
yeah,
it sounds surprisingly good. And the thing is, it's hard to do a good ladder match these days because it's like all of the spots have been done. It seems like everybody has seen them. There's kind of almost a lack of creativity with it a little bit. Plus, I hate the slow climb up the ladder.
Yep.
It's just like
destroyed, and then it takes them forever. Yes.
Right.
Terrible.
I hate that part. But this doesn't sound like that happened. This sounded like it was pretty fast-paced. People climbing the ladder like they actually wanted to win the titles.
Yep.
And I can appreciate that, even though I have to drink this. Cheers.
Cheers to you, Howie Blues.
Oh. It doesn't get any better, man. It does not get any better.
Here, I thought it'd start warming your heart and those sorts of things, and help you get a move into the right direction.
No. It also doesn't help like that we're doing this before Thanksgiving, so it's like I'm not ready to be in the Christmas spirit, and so this is just like too much candy cane peppermint taste for this time of the year.
Well, good thing that next weekend is after Thanksgiving, and we'll be able to do this again.
I mean, it depends. Shit. No, there's enough. There's enough.
You know what? If there wasn't, or if there isn't by the time we're done with this, I will spend the $4.95 to go buy another bottle for you. Okay?
No,
I'm in that giving of a mood. I'm gonna help you out.
no. Listen, I appreciate the thought, and yeah, such. But
Oh, you want some like green apple pucker or something like that?
I mean, that would at least maybe be enjoyable.
What are you in college now? Jeez.
Listen, man, yeah, I'm looking for words, and they aren't coming to my mouth because,
Okay.
Howard hasn't been doing a lot of drinking lately, so this is hitting a bit hard. Also, I'm trying to hobby at the same time and listen to you. Eventually, the multitasking ability is going to fail.
Yeah, maybe. I was kind of hoping that our overseas friend would be joining us by now, because he'd have some good things to help you through and give you some words to say. But
I mean, listen. I mean, if our friend from overseas wanted to all of a sudden show up and kind of just take over co-hosting, so that
yes.
I'd maybe be all for that at this point.
So he has to take the shots instead of you.
That is the theory that I'm operating under. So
Gotcha. Make sure you subscribe to us, by the way. Thanks. Next
and
up,
you too could fill in for Howard.
yeah, you subscribe to our show, give us $10, you can fill in for Howard. Okay, next up, it is a triple threat match for the AEW TBS Championship. 11 minutes 20 seconds in length, featuring your second ever TBS champion, Chris Statlander, versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I pick Julia Hart.
That's a good pick. I'm going to stick with the champion. I'm going to go with Chris Statlander. I'm hoping I'm trying to once again read Kidder's face, but I'll stick to it. I'll stick to Statlander. I feel like she just got the title not that long ago. She should hold on to it for a while. That's my theory. That's what I'm going with.
I can't tell you how many days it's been because I don't have that.
That's okay. That's and I could be just off on my whole timing with this because Jade Cargill held it for so stinking long that this just feels like, well, she just got the title yesterday because it wasn't all that long ago. But we'll go with Chris Statlander. We'll go with that. Although that does mean that even though I said, hey, Buddy Matthews is going to lose, because House of Black is going to win at some point, and I have yet to pick anybody else from House of Black. This is
glue's getting to you.
I'm done with gluing. I'm green stuffing now. So,
what blue stuffing?
Well, it starts off as blue and yellow stuff, and you mix it together. It's actually called neatite, and when you mix it, then it becomes green.
And explodes?
And then you can, carve things into it like that.
I was hoping it'd explode or something, like C4, or perhaps the gum on the first Mission Impossible from 1996.
Look, listen, do I look like JS Gunslinger? I don't have that kind of explosives in my house.
I mean, you're running at about the same level of drinks right now, so...
That is true. I am drinking at a JS Gunslinger level.
But, F it. Lights go out, they come back on, Julia Hart's theme hits, and here she comes, all business ready to go. Next, baseball cap is gone. Sky Blue has a thorn crown and different music.
That's a change.
Yeah. And then Chris Statlander's theme hits. She comes on out with the belt. And, of course, with the sign language, I can't remember what she signs or mouths, but There you go. Bell rings. We're officially off. Everybody starts staring each other down. Chris Statlander goes to work, takes Julia down with an arm drag, and then takes out Sky Blue. Statlander hits a big double clothesline, takes both of them out at the same time because they both stood up, and then she took them out. Champ is off. Good start. Hart and Blue team up, take Statlander down, and then they turn on each other. Back on the floor, we see Hart and Blue looking for a double suplex on Statlander, but she counters and suplexes both of them. 2 with a double suplex of her own. Back in the ring, or is that 1? Howard the ref, your ruling. He's going with 2. So there we go. Perfect. Back in the ring, Sky Blue and Julie Hart continue to go after each other till Statlander starts firing it up. She hits a bunch more suplexes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll throw an 8 for good measure. And then the commentators start jokingly referring to her as the human suplex machine. And then Tadge goes, hey, oh, what, hey, come on now, eh? Because he knows Taz, the human suplex machine. Moments later, Sky Blue hits a huge Code Blue. Very close near fall. Hart gets her submission finisher on, but it does not end it. Yeah, that's right. Moments later, Hart pulls off the win as a counter off of Chris Statlander. That's right. Julia Hart at a 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, there you go. New TBS Women's Champion. Man, the bottle's getting heavier even though it's getting lighter.
Yes. Because the more I drink this, the more of my soul leaves my body. I mean, this was a match.
Yes.
And I really don't have any more insight than that. And I'm very disappointed that this is what, my 6th shot of the night?
Yeah.
So,
I'd also
cheers.
like to mention again that as Howard is punishing himself, for verification and authentication purposes, Howard has the full list that I sent him in the predictions before the show. So this is above board and 100% legit.
Yes. Yes. Nobody can accuse me of cheating because I would at least not have taken 6 shots of this. You know it's authentic because, which is kind of why I like doing the punishment shots, because then it's not like anybody could go, well, Howard didn't watch, but clearly he got spoilers from the internet. It's like, well, no, because Howard is clearly drinking terrible liquor.
Yeah.
And if I was going to cheat, I would make it so I didn't have to drink terrible liquor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we still have 3 matches to go.
Oh my gosh, I still have 3 matches where I could possibly drink.
Yep. So,
okay.
This is obviously the next point where there's another DraftKings commercial.
Get her. I told you I'm doing green stuff. I have these lovely green stuff rollers that allow me to do like really cool designs in it. Yeah. Here's the thing. One end has a cap that you can pop off to open and get the roller out. The other side does not have a cap, and I may have been sitting here like, why is there? I was trying to open the wrong end, man.
I think it's time to stop crafting.
I'm almost done.
Oh, well, we're not. Another DraftKings commercial hits, and this is where they actually do the announcement. The aerial assassin comes out after his music hits and says, "Bruv, it's bruv, and I'm all yours, but I'm not yours yet because I'm still in New Japan till my contract ends, bruv, but then, bruv, we're back at Wembley Stadium, bruv, next year, and bruv, and I'm yours, and bruv, it's all elite, bruv. That's what I got from that promo. He likes saying bruv a lot.
I mean, the nice thing is, like, Will Ospreay is actually an amazing talent. So I look forward to listening to you describe his matches in the future.
I mean, you already have, but yeah.
Listen, Howard's still sitting upright somehow.
Okay. Well, speaking of upright, we got another match, and it's a Texas death match. 29 minutes, 55 seconds long there, Howard Blues.
Oh, boy.
Half an hour of your life right here coming up.
That gives me some time to sober up.
It's Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana, or Nana, whatever. I chose Swerve Strickland. Na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na. Hey, 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 it's your choice.
I am going to go with the Cowboy, Hangman Adam Page.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Mostly because I gotta start making a comeback here at some point. Kidder, you're ahead, clearly. And if I have any chance of maybe winning bragging rights, I gotta take some bold choices. But that could also just be the schnapps talking.
Sure. What's our score right now?
I have to read my own handwriting.
Scribbles.
7-4. 7-4 is our current. If the camera focuses, is our current score of my handy dandy scorecard.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
CK and question mark, is that what that says?
No, that was a little scribble to get the pen to work.
And
Such.
I thought that was the downward spiral of this show. All right.
Just my life.
All right. Here we go. So another video package, and there's been, the intense back and forth with this. Swerve Strickland entrance music hits, and he and Prince Nana have a bunch of female dancers. They do the dance on the way down, and, it is what it is. Mogul Embassy leader emerges all business. He's headed into the ring for the Texas Death Match, and suddenly Hangman Page comes running out, and, oh, man, straight on and he's on! They hit each other, and bing, 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 bing. Here we go. Deck swerve. Crowd goes nuts. Suddenly, Hangman grabs a stapler and staples something to Swerve's face in the corner of the ring. Swerve takes off after this, and now we see Hangman's busted open and bleeding. Swerve chokes him. Hangman fights back, continues to come unhinged, but he starts using everything at his disposal to inflict pain on Swerve, who is also now bleeding all over the place. It appeared, in fact, that Hangman had stapled a children's crayon drawing to Swerve's face. Anyway, we're going. Blood's flowing. Swerve's dripping blood all over the place. Somehow there's scissors in the ring. And then, we're not talking about Scissor Me, Daddy Swerve. It's going nuts. Swerve fights back. He's looking nuts, takes a staple gun, and then he staples himself. Blap, 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 stapling himself. The crowd's going, holy, 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 holy. Barbed wire wrapped around a chair gets wedged into the ropes in the corner. Swerve runs Hangman's face straight into it. The crowd gasps and goes nuts. Strickland grabs a cinder block from underneath the ring, sets it on the apron. Hangman starts to recover, but as they're bleeding all over the place, It's going crazy. Hangman wraps something around Swerve, continues to beat him down. Looks like it is barbed wire. Beats him down, pulls him ahead into the offensive lead again, and the crowd keeps going crazier and crazier. Hangman stops for a moment, enjoying the blood flowing off his face. Swerve takes over. Buckets keep pouring all over the mat. It's going all over. Prince Nana gets involved. Hangman takes him, grabs the barbed wire wrapped steel chair, and uses that, smashing Swerve. Then Hangman hoists Swerve up onto the ropes looking for an avalanche deadeye. Swerve escapes before he can. Power bombs Hangman off the top rope onto the barbed wire wrapped chair. Then he heads back to the top rope, comes off with a flying double stomp onto Hangman, who's still on the barbed wire chair. Then he goes under the ring, grabs a bag, comes into the ring, opens it up, pours the bag contents all over Hangman back, and guess what? It's a bunch of broken glass. Then Swerve goes up top, on top of the turnbuckle, 450 splash off the top rope onto Hangman, who is still on the barbed wire chair with the glass all over his back, of course, hurting his own chest in the process. Then the referee nearly gets to the 10 count because, of course, with a Texas death match, you have to be either knocked out or submit. Suddenly, Hangman pops up right away. Crowd shocked. Everybody's shocked because it was 9 9/10. Swerve sets up 2 unfolded chairs in the ring. He pulls out plywood with barbed wire all over it, lays it across the 2 chairs like a bridge. Swerve grabs Hangman, pulls him into the corner, and then brings him up to the top rope with him. Hangman bites Swerve. Yeah. And starts drinking his blood. He grabs Swerve, connects through the barbed wire board bridge off the chairs from the top rope, pops right back up, power bombs him again on the barbed wire board, hits a deadeye again on the barbed wire board on the floor. Page grabs a long strand of barbed wire, wraps it around his fist and his arm. Then he wraps some of it around Swerve's face and neck. He hits a buckshot lariat. Wham! Swerve just wasn't going to get up. Prince Nana pulls him out of the ring, beats the count. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, the Machine, Brian Cage. No. Listen, you got to calm down with that because you're a week early, bro.
I'm a week early and like 7 shots in? 6 shots?
7 shots in the night. All right. Brian Cage, part of the Mogul Assembly, runs down, keeps blasting him. Then Hangman starts getting blasted some more because Cage hits a lariat on him, hits an F5 on him, and then goes out, grabs a table, which he sets up on the floor. Page ends up recovering and counters and levels Cage with some barbed wire, which then busts Cage open. So he also sees Nana coming up to the top with a chair to hit Hangman, but Hangman grabs the chair. Nana starts doing the stupid dance from the beginning, and Hangman puts him through the table with a giant deadeye. Strickland then hits Page over the head with the cinder block. It busts all over the place because, you know, that's what cinder blocks do. He then wraps a chain around Hangman's throat, pulls the chain tight, hangs Hangman with the chain from the ring post. Hangman's out. That is a 1-2 and done. Hangman's out. Swerve Strickland picks up the win by knockout.
I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. Listening to you describe this match was a bit painful. I am not like as much as I like my favorite wrestler of all time is Mick Foley, and he did hardcore matches. I'm not a huge fan of the death match. Like I kind of like my PG-13 WWE hardcore match. I get a little squeamish at some of this, and hearing about people stapling themselves. I just like, ow.
The blood was dripping in buckets.
I
I'm
am not
surprised they
going.
didn't have to take 2 ring sheets off because of soaking through. The blood was all over the ropes and everything. Like the ropes were white, and you could see big red spots drying on the ropes.
I mean,
all over the place.
listen, I'm a guy who likes horror movies, and I can handle some things, but I don't like the torture porn that is kind of rampant in today's horror movies. But I'm not big into like medical stuff. Makes me squeamish. But like this, just I had a hard time listening to you describe this match. And hey, I get to and that's even 7 shots in, which now 8.
7 shots in the night.
I think you already made that joke.
Well, I love Volbeat, so
yeah. Anyway,
cheers.
Cheers. Woo!
Just the look on his face. All right. Next up.
Oh. Is this last?
Nope,
have we had enough talk? Oh,
we had 2 more.
I'm trying to tap. I'm tapping. Where's the ref?
Can't see
I give up.
Can't see it. Not happening. All right. Let's continue along before Howard falls asleep.
Or falls over.
They're running back video footage now from the 0 hour because, everybody has forgotten that MJF was attacked and stretchered out and then put in an ambulance, and then the ambulance took off. Whatever. Then, pre-match video, a promo, if you will, telling us about the Golden Jets. That is Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, because they're both from Winnipeg, Canada. They're teaming up against the Young Bucks. Now, with a win, they take the Young Bucks' guaranteed tag title shot. With a loss, the Golden Jets can never team up again.
I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. One thing that annoys me about AEW, and they get this from New Japan, but it's the fact that like everything has to have a name. Hey, we got Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho teaming. They need to be the Golden Jets. Hey, it's Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi teaming up. Well, they're going to be the Golden Lovers. Hey, it's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Oh, they're the Elite.
F the Elite.
I mean, my thing is, like, you have factions. You can just be the Elite, Anyway, that's a small rant from Intoxicated Howard. You're welcome.
I'm glad you made that point, because I'm kind of feeling the same thing of, why does everything have to have a different name?
Right. I mean, I'm all for it. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. And it is something that happens in New Japan. And I get that they're pulling that from that promotion and bringing it over. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of annoying because, like, as I was reading through and I'm like, the Young Bucks versus the Golden Jet. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? Luckily, you put that in. You could have confused the shit out of me if you would have just put Young Bucks versus the Golden Jet. Who are the Golden Jets? I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. Don Callis is on commentary for this match as well, who everybody hates right now.
Did I make a prediction on this yet?
No, we haven't predicted. Who are you going with?
Crap, I don't even know on this. I'll take the Golden Jets.
I also chose Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, the Golden Jets. Why? Because F the Elite. All right.
Kenny Omega is part of the Elite. This
Yeah,
match makes no sense.
Yep, it does. Glad we're here. So, here we go. Nick and Kenny Omega start the match off. They start trading the mat-based wrestling and fist bump each other, and then Jericho tags in, and so does Matt Jackson. Matt slams Jericho, but Jericho comes back, chops him into the corner. Omega tags in and stops the chops and allows Matt to back away from the corner. Matt kicks Omega in the midsection and clubs him across the back. Then sends Omega across the ring, but Omega counters with a Hurricane Rana to the outside. Omega sends Nick out as well, and Nick pulls Jericho to the apron after Jericho makes the tag. Omega takes Matt out with a dive, but Nick kicks him in the face. Jericho sends Nick to the floor with an enziguri and follows with a low drop kick. Matt comes back with shots to Jericho on the outside. After that, the Bucks put his arm, Jericho's arm, that is, between the steps and the ring post. Matt super kicks the steps to Jericho's arm and gets back into the ring. Jericho pulls his arm out, and it is clearly bleeding. Nick tags in and delivers some shots to Jericho. Matt tags back in and then works over Jericho's arm. Nick tags in and the Bucks double team Jericho for a bit. Nick delivers another shot to Jericho's arm, which of course is still clearly bleeding. Jericho comes back with a double clothesline. Nick delivers a shot to the head, drop kicks him to the floor. Matt pulls Jericho's arm into the ring post and gets Jericho back to the ring. The old arm into the ring post spot. Jericho fights back, tags in Kenny Omega. The Bucks double team Omega and fighting back and all that. And we got Orion up here. He's coming up to the top rope. He wants to see what's happening. He's got to get involved because this is where the action is. Hi. You're helping? You want to talk about wrestling too? Yeah? Look right here. Right here.
Orion, you get the next.
Let's be honest. Well, depending on how you do his age, he's either too young or way too old to drink. He's too young for this. All right. So, double clothesline. Nick delivers a shot to his head, drop kicks to the floor. Matt pulls Jericho's arm to the ring post, like I said. Jericho's fighting back, tags Kenny Omega in. The Bucks double team Omega, but he fights back, takes them both down with Snapdragon suplexes. Then Omega puts Nick in the corner and drops Matt with a rolling senton. Omega drops Nick with a backstabber and drops Matt with a moonsault on the outside. Omega goes for the crossbody of Nick, but Nick rolls through, gets a 2 count. Omega delivers a knee to Nick's face, and the Jericho and Matt both tag in. Jericho drops Matt with a few shoulder tackles and then hits Nick with one as well. Jericho connects with a double lion salt, goes for the walls of Jericho and Matt, but guess what? His arm hurts, and so he can't lock in the walls because you got to break down the walls. Matt kicks Jericho in the face as he turned around, sends him into the corner. Nick wrenches Jericho's arm over the top rope. Matt takes him down and then goes for the walls himself, but Jericho rolls him up, gets a 2 count. Jericho drops Matt with a shot. Nick takes Jericho down, and then Omega smashes Nick. Omega ends up getting hit, and Jericho counters Matt, locks in the walls of Jericho once again. Matt gets free, and he and Jericho exchange shots. The Young Bucks now set up the old BTE trigger and then hit the stereo super kicks in a double team attack. And now they have Jericho down and out. Jericho keeps trying to fight back, but he's mostly trying to defend himself. And, of course, there's a low blow. Bam. when Omega turns around, the let's see, it would be Nick Jackson blatantly kicks the hell out of him with a huge low blow that the ref didn't see because, of course, they were distracting. Yeah. So, turns around, Jericho hits it with a Judas effect, but he goes for the cover. Omega ends up breaking up the cover. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, thinking that we're going to be working together all of a sudden. And I'm like, oh, is this the moment? Is this the turn? Well, Omega fires up, but Jackson slows him down with a one-winged angel. A 2 count there. The fight continues with Matt Jackson landing some super kicks, but after he hits Jericho in a mid-Judas effect with one, Jericho continues with his Judas effect anyway, going, ah! Then Jackson takes a bump, and Omega takes out the other Jackson with the ripcord knee, and a one-winged angel goes for the cover, rolls him up at a 1, 2, and 3. The Golden Jets are now not only your winners, but next in line for a title shot of the AEW Tag Team Championship. The Jacksons are throwing a huge tantrum on the floor. They're grabbing chairs, bashing them against the ring post. They're super pissed, just smashing chairs into the ring post and throwing stuff out into the crowd and screaming at each other. And Kenny Omega is like, So there's that. 20 minutes, 45 seconds.
On a bright note, I got one right finally. I don't have to drink.
That drink of water.
I would, but you know what? I didn't bring any down, and the only water I have is paint water, and I'm not drinking that. So, so anyway, I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. I've had enough to drink. I didn't follow any of that. I just heard Golden Jets win. So we've reached
Why
that.
Are we here?
We're here because we started this, and I was not expecting to take 8 shots of peppermint schnapps, and now somewhat out of it.
Shots.
So, anyway, I'm still hobbying. I'm now gap filling. So that's happening currently as we speak, and I am. Anyway, it was a match. I was not. Well, I can't say I wasn't expecting because I got that one right. Interesting turn of events that they're going to go with Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho continuing to team. So I'll take my victory on that. And Kidder, please tell me that the next one is the main event, because
that is right. It is officially the 11th match of the night. It is your AEW World Championship match, the main event.
I'm surprised you didn't do the usual, Mark Henry bit. I'm a little disappointed.
Time for the main event.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought that one was going to blow you out of your seat, or your director's chair is going to implode on you again, just out of spite.
I hope not. It's back over there, and I would hate for it to damage the wonderful resin cast muskets I have there, which is another project I need to work on when not intoxicated.
Yeah, don't play with guns, kids. All right. So, this one, as we remember with the storytelling earlier on in the match, the show, I should say, not the match, MJF deemed unable to compete, and so Adam Cole, baby, is filling in. So, by default, because as you saw, my choice was MJF, I choose Adam Cole because he is, taking the place of my pick that I picked before the show.
That's very noble of you. I, Kidder, am going to look at this as somebody who didn't watch the show and therefore has the advantage of pure blind luck. I think there's two things that they could do. They could have MJF return and therefore save his title. You could have MJF lose his title because of this, maybe causing a little bit of heat between him and Adam Cole. It's a possibility. I'm going to go for what makes things the most interesting. And I think here's the thing. If you get rid of MJF, you have Adam Cole lose the title because he's not in condition to fight. It's a way to move the title off MJF without MJF losing. You know what? Okay, I'll pick Jay White. I mean, I'm already losing. Deb, I'm risking it all. Big money, no whammies, no whammies.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit. Okay.
I also I have this little chunk of green stuff and I don't know what to sculpt with it. Any thoughts, Kidder? Any suggestions? What should I sculpt?
The bottom of your shot glass.
I mean that's just flat. That's not interesting, man.
It isn't, but it's apparently what you're vested in tonight.
I mean, I'm something. That's for sure.
So this match is 29 minutes 45 seconds. Right away, it's all about the boom. Adam Cole, baby, comes on down with his Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship belt around his waist, and of course he's got the giant boot yet, and he's on crutches. And he gets a pretty big pop. There it is. Good to go. Does his pretty much his usual shtick with the Adam Cole baby and the boom. And then Bullet Club Gold entrance. Jay White is headed out, accompanied by the Guns for the main event. And as you may or may not remember, which is okay if you don't, Jay White stole the Triple B months ago and has been hanging on to it, saying that he's the real champion and he's wearing the belt. So, looks like the match is about to begin. There's still some shenanigans. Jay White lays down and pretends that he's going to let Cole pin him. He laughs, pops up. And, haha. And, of course, the Guns are jumping up on the ring apron, and they're pointing at Adam Cole and whatnot. And Bryce Remsburg is telling them to get down. And so there's a lot of shenanigans and things happening. And suddenly there's sirens. Howard, there are sirens. We cut to the back. And there's an ambulance with the lights on, and clearly not the actual siren, hauling ass down the area into the back. And we come up to it, and look, it's MJF, who allegedly stole the ambulance and brought it back to the Kia Forum so then he could fight on one leg. As he puts it in park, he's having difficulty trying to get out of the ambulance. And I'm like, WTF, mate. Anyway, he gets out of the ambulance, and you can see that his quad is bandaged significantly, round and round and round, okay? He hobbles his way in, comes on down. The music hits. He makes his way down to the ring and tells Adam Cole, thanks, man. You're good. I got this. Ding, ding, ding. And they're off. It is chanting MJF, the crowd going after him, and that he's there, scumbag. Jay White starts dominating, easily going after the noticeable injury, if you will, the wrap around his leg, okay? So the Guns are getting cheap shots. They're pulling him in, taking him out. Jay White keeps the ref busy away from looking at the Guns. And this is like 4 times. And then suddenly, I think it was Colten goes over to grab a chair. And he's about to smash MJF with a chair. And Bryce Remsburg turns around. Hey, I see the chair. And then looks at him. And you're out of here. Yeah, he kicks the Guns out of the ring. There you go. They're out of here. Of course, Adam Cole wearing a I'm Your Brochacho shirt. Something like that. Adam Cole got the big old smile on his face because he's still ringside on his crutches. White is still taking it to MJF, though, and keeps blasting him. MJF gets some fight, and then White takes over immediately, okay? It keeps doing this for quite a while. MJF takes over and bashes White's head into the turnbuckle, climbs up on him for the 10 punch in the corner spot, and then, of course, you get the 1 through 10 count. Adam Cole's cheering MJF. Keep the crowd going. Good to go. MJF's going for the kangaroo kick, hits it, knocks White out onto the floor, but, of course, the leg injury is really hurting him. Cole's shouting instructions to MJF from ringside, but of course doesn't work out as planned because White comes back into the ring, drop kicks on the injured leg of MJF, takes over control of the match. White dumps MJF over his head. MJF crashes and burns awkwardly on the floor at ringside. Looks like it really hurt. White starts taunting him and Cole from the ring, then heads out to start beating up MJF more, but MJF starts fighting back. He decks White and starts clearing off the commentary desk, and fans start getting nuts. MJF is ready to put White through the commentary desk. He puts White onto the desk, and the whole desk falls apart. He literally rolled onto the desk, and the sumbitch, poof!
Clearly, not the German announce desk. Because we know that thing's indestructible.
It definitely was not. Maybe it was the IKEA desk. I don't know. They didn't put the screws in. Not sure, but I cannot remember it being that big of a screw job for a piece of equipment. I could not handle it. I laughed for 5 minutes probably because it was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Anyway, so he's still dead laying on the floor, Jay White. MJF goes up to the turnbuckle anyway, does a huge flying elbow and blasts him anyway. And then, of course, they're laying there in probably a lot of pain. Refs counting. They get nearly like a 7-8 count, and MJF comes back up. Excuse me, because, this is super exciting. MJF grabbed Jay White, pulls him back into the ring to break the count for both of them. The crowd's still going nuts, chanting, "He's our scumbag." Jay White ends up getting some momentum, if you will, fights back, hits a dragon screw off in the ropes on MJF, which of course hurts his injured leg some more. So both head up to the top rope now. White connects with a huge avalanche uranagi for a super close near fall. MJF starts hulking up a little bit. White snatches him, looks for the Blade Runner finisher, but MJF avoids it. White goes for it again, but again, MJF avoids it. MJF ends up hitting a tombstone pile driver, but of course it hurts his bad leg. Hey, there we go, Daly Pool. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. We were shouting you out a little bit earlier, so make sure you head back in the replay and leave your comments. Welcome to the show as we are on the last bit of it. So, here we go. Coles keeps shouting. He's getting encouragement to MJF, looking ready to get this match done. MJF goes to pick up Jay White, but ends up collapsing, of course, because the leg injury. Ref comes over to check on him, calls for the doctor. MJF insists on continuing, slaps his own hurt knee and leg. The crowd comes to life and rallies behind him. White goes back to work and starts hitting the injured leg again. Spits at Cole ringside, giant loogie. Threw him through the air. Puts MJF in, the figure 4. MJF is screaming in pain. Adam Cole has a towel and he's ready to throw it in. MJF is yelling, no, don't do it, but ends up fighting back and reverses the hold, putting the pressure on Jay White's legs. Then, well, guess what, Howard?
What? Tell me. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you are, because at this point, MJF pushes back. Jay White goes flying and hits Bryce Remsburg in the head.
I didn't see that coming.
White ends up hitting a dragon screw on the injured leg again. Now, when you look at Adam Cole, is on the floor. He's got MJF's Dynamite Diamond ring, and MJF wants it, but White ends up grabbing it first. Before he can use it, MJF, boom! That's a ding! Hits the low blow, and now he grabs the rings. Suddenly, the Guns come running out. MJF decks the one, and then decks the other one. They go flying out of the ring. He turns into a Blade Runner attempt from White, but sneaks in a ring shot. To avoid that, he goes for the cover, rolls him up a 1, 2, and 3. Your winner, and still AEW World Champion for 364 days. Yeah, it is MJF. Hey, Midnight Rocker 101, joining us over there on the Twitch side of things. Welcome to the show, Midnight Rocker. It's the... Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You are the slickest of them all, let me tell you. You came at just the right moment to see Howard taking his 9th shot of the show. Number 9.
And hey, Kidder, here's a fun one for you as I pour this. I was trying to since I was done hobbying, be engaged. Ooh, that's a full one.
That's because I didn't go engage.
Yeah, okay. So first off, the bottle was up like here when I started, so gives you an idea. But anyway, I was trying to be engaged. And you set it up with the pow, and I did a this motion, and then you said it was a low blow, and I'm like, oh, so it'd be a this motion. And of course, as soon as I did that, I hit the cutting mat that's on my my painting desk, sending all of my miniatures, all of the bases, everything flying. Basic fruit basket upset over here. I had to clean it all up, and yeah. So.
Yeah,
anyway,
Howard's got tricks. That's right.
Howard's got a lot of things going right now,
Howard's
and
got drinks.
Yeah, and hey, here we go.
Last, Jaco.
Yes, last punishment shot of the night.
I also like to mention, with all of that and the shenanigans happening, Howard Blues. You want to say it? You want to say the thing?
What? That it's been a week?
Wrong show.
No, wait, that is right. I'm guessing, what you were hinting at, what I should have picked up. But I'm 9 shots in on Peppermint Schnapps. Kidder, this has got to definitely have been the DraftKings screwy finish of the night.
There it is.
There we go.
Ding, 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 ding. For that, your reward is another shot of Peppermint Schnapps.
No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm tapping.
Yeah, you're done, all right. Well done.
Yes. I've had too much. Clearly too much. I was not expecting to do that poorly. Hey, for anybody who wasn't keeping score, guess what? The drunk guy was. Kidder, you continue to hold on to bragging
I
rights.
thought
Our
you were
final
gonna say I
score.
lost all of a sudden because the drunk guy's keeping tally.
He's pretty honest for a drunk guy. The final score, 5-10. Once my camera focuses, 5-10. Yes, my handwriting is that terrible, and it is backwards. Not for you, the viewer. For me, it is.
Yeah, you're good. It looks good over here. The funny thing is you can see the slants going downhill.
Listen, I may have consumed 1, 2, 3, 9 shots of peppermint schnapps. I will say, kiddo, that last shot not hitting me as bad as the others. Apparently, 9 is the magic number when it comes to peppermint schnapps.
Okay, there you go. Midnight Rocker, we'd love to hear your analysis on that. I don't know if you have any experience with the schnapps of the peppermint variety or anything related to it, but we need your analysis on that as well. As a side note, well, he's thinking about how to answer that and what question is actually in that statement. Adam Cole and MJF had their little heartfelt moment there at the end. They're hugging, go up the ramp, and that is it. Join us Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite as the blah-blah-blah championship countdown tournament, et cetera, starts. That's about half an hour ago in this show, and that's that's there. So 29 minutes 45 seconds for that their match.
I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. I'm now able to read the comments on here where I can see Midnight Rocker asking, what is Howard drinking, and then Nice. No, this stuff not good. Not good. I have suffered through 9 terrible shots as I was horrible at predictions tonight. Once again, proving Howard does not cheat at predictions. Because if I did, I would not have put myself through this.
Capacity for the Kia Forum is 17,500.
All right. Well, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while, and such. Any last thoughts about this pay-per-view before we wrap this show up?
Well, Full Gear has a nice little warm spot in my heart because it was my first AEW pay-per-view that I was able to attend, and truthfully, the first one I think I watched. Which is odd because I don't recall watching any of the the pay-per-views before that. Well, maybe there was one. I guess maybe it was All Out. Because I think that would have been where CM Punk debuted. Either way, little soft spot in my heart. This was, I thought, a very entertaining show. Talking about it throughout the night, I thought it was, not only good to watch, but also good to talk about, and it's good. As a side note, apparently Midnight Rocker saw, I'm guessing, Trish Stratus at Comic-Con, so that's pretty cool. She has not yet become all elite. so there's that. We'll talk about her next weekend. So Rocker, join us next weekend again for Survivor Series War Games. And then we'll be able to talk about the Stratus faction. Other notes, I like the graphics. they added extra explosions and things in the background, so that warms my heart. The production seemed pretty good, the value. And yeah.
No, that's good.
Overall,
That's good.
pretty good.
Yeah. I will say, Kidder, the one thing I am looking forward to next week with Survivor Series and War Games, it's a WWE Premium Live event, which means that there's only like 5 matches. So there's no way I'm going to take 9 shots of this peppermint and schnapps next week. So that's a bonus. That's a good thing. But overall, I really do want to try and somehow, some way, see this ladder match, the 4-way ladder match. That sounded awesome. Want to see that. Yeah, that's kind of my overall. Overall, it sounds like it was a decent show. There were a couple of matches that I wasn't really interested in, and even as you described them, I was like, yeah. But overall, just as somebody who is listening to this, my rating, how much I want to see this, out of our usual scale of 5, I'd say I'd give this a 4. I would check it out if I could. That would be my my take. So, and with that, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while, and I have to get up early in the morning, so that's going to be painful.
First. Midnight Rocker is look at this in style.
I mean, I can't really tell what that was because
you'll see it later on the stream.
Well, no, I see it, but it's blurry, or at least I think it's blurry.
That's your vision.
I was gonna say I have been drinking. But anyway, Kidder, as I was saying, it's time that we wrap this show up. And because it's a wrestling show, as much as I hate this right now, because you do all the talking during the wrestling show, that means that I'm in charge of the cheap plugs. And everybody buckle up as a fairly intoxicated Howard tries to get through all of the cheap plugs as best I can. You'll know when I mess up because Kidder will be laughing at me. That's how this goes. So, to wrap this up, where you can find us, of course, our home in cyberspace is beerbluesbs.com. That's where you can find links to all the places where you can get that triple B goodness. That's right. beerbluesbs.com. What are some of the things you can find there? Well, I'm glad you asked. Not that you really asked, but hey, in my drunk imagination, you did. Hey, you can always buy us a beer. Not that I need another one, but you could. And that is our way of saying that, hey, you can donate to the show. We appreciate it. You can buy us a single beer. You could buy us a 6-pack, a 12-pack. Hey, it's really up to you how much you want to spend. We get to call you out on the show. You can send a message in. We'll read it out. It's your way to interact. Be part of the show. And we, of course, greatly appreciate it. We also have some merch. Also, Kidder, I realized that through the first half of this cheap plugs, I had my eyes closed for no reason. Anyway,
You're
yes,
visualizing the words in your mind. And
I was cutting off the visual stimulation to try and get this right. Yes, we have Triple B merch. Like, hey, we have a premium T-shirt. For, when you have to watch a premium live event, although this was a pay-per-view, but you get the idea. All of that you can find through our merch store, which you can find at beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch. Also, Kidder decided that we needed a second store. Why? I don't know, but Kidder did it. And you can also find us at streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs/merch. Did I get that right, Kidder?
You're doing great. Yes.
I'm trying. This is hard. But yes, there's some different merch there. You can find pint glasses, other oddities, T-shirts, a lot of them with interesting slogans like "It's been a week," my classic slogan. All of that's there. Hey, we're also on social media. We are on Facebook. So, of course, just go to Facebook, search Beer, Blues, and BS. You can find the podcast. You can follow. Every now and then we post something interesting there, so make sure you check out there. Also, hey, you might be watching this on Twitch. You might be watching this on YouTube, but we have a regular weekly show, which, of course, is Beer, Blues, and BS, the best podcast in the world. And you can, of course, watch it on YouTube if you like to see our happy, smiling faces. I will say, though, as a just warning, I'm not always this intoxicated when we do that show. Probably would be a better show if I was, but I can't handle that. Anyway,
I do want to say, Midnight Rocker says that he should have given Trish Stratus a Triple B shirt.
I mean, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Or maybe a pint glass. You could give her a Triple B pint glass. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
I do know what you're saying.
The old-fashioned, perfect old-fashioned cup. The pint glass. Because she probably needs one of those. Everybody needs one of those, let's be honest. Or maybe I will have a water with hops and grain. One of those. That's a classy pint glass, right?
I mean, listen, the Mark Kidder is such a professional salesman, which I am not. That look, he just can't help but, mention all of this great merch that I did not, because I'm an amateur. Anyway, I was saying Facebook, Instagram, we're there. YouTube, we're there as well. I got that. Hey, maybe you just want to listen to the audio version because you're driving somewhere. The holidays are coming up. You might be traveling. You could take us with you, at least in the not like physical, have to feed us, house us kind of way. That's right. We do also put this out on the audio version, and you can get that from any of the audio platforms out there. So if you have a spot where you like to download your podcast, hey, we're there. Whether it's Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, you name a podcasting service, we're there. And so you can download us, take us with you, and have great entertainment anywhere and everywhere you go. And with that, there's a couple other little things that we normally plug, but I think I got all of the main ones. And with that, Kidder, I think it's time we wrap this up. And to do that, I get to say the final three things. Here we go. The last hurdle. Can Howard clear the finish line? But always.
Midnight Rocker's going to do reports from Comic-Con for us next year. He said
nice.
That he'll do them. At
nice.
First, when I read it, I thought it said next year I should do a report for you. And then I was just throwing him under the bus, like, yeah, he's going to do that next year, whether he likes it or not. Then I reread it, and I go, oh, yeah, he said he would do a report. Okay. Thanks, Midnight Rocker. And for that report, then you will need to know what things, Howard Blues.
I don't know where you're going with this, but that's because
say the thing. And not it's been a week. Don't say the damn thing. That's for the other show.
Not that catchphrase. The other ones, which is simply, hey, always keep your glass at least half full, unless it's peppermint schnapps. Don't do that. Don't do as you have seen tonight. Also, we have free beer tomorrow, so look us up then. And of course, you can always find us down that wonderful headlock-filled Tuscan Highway. Good night, everybody.
Have a good one. We'll see you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Or even perhaps next weekend. Next SATURDAY night for another live enhanced edition of the Triple B with a premium live event. All right. Howard, you know what? Go to bed.
Okay.
As for everybody else, stick around, hit the play next button because there's more Triple B action coming right at you. Thanks again for watching. He's Howard Blues. Sorry, he's Howard Blues. I'm the man, the myth, legend, Mark Kidder. And in the comments, we got Mr. Dally Pool from overseas and the one and only, the 101, the Midnight Rocker 101. Thank you for being part of the show. Drop your notes in the comments. We want to hear from you. And, of course, Smash that sub button, hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.